Yeah. So welcome to our very first digital remote only online meetup at a digital product community. As the most of you know, we are a Dresden-based product community, gaining product managers every month to exchange experiences. And today we're partnering with ProductMed and Matvey to learn about the latest AI skills. So yeah, great joining us today, Matvey.
Yeah, I'll already say the intro, but yeah, guys, thanks everyone. So yeah, happy to be here.
First of all, as most of you know us already, I would like to share our schedule for tonight. First of all, we have a little introduction about the product community for those who do not know us already. And after that, we have our famous icebreaker. And as tonight's digital meetup is not only about learning something about AI, product management skills, and so on, but about networking as well. I would like to encourage you to switch your camera on, and if it's time to talk to each other, switch your microphone on. We have short breakout rooms as well, and so everybody and everyone here in the call can not just gain some knowledge, but meet interesting people from other countries maybe as well. And as Matvey's community is really large and he invited some of his users as well, there might be a international exchange for every one of you, not only the Dresden-based exchange, as we already have every month. Yes, and after the really interesting and insightful presentation, I already got a sneak preview, I can say here. We will have plenty of time for further networking as well. After that, we try to arrange it in Microsoft Teams. It's not the perfect tool, I guess, for digital meetups, but it really improved through the last couple of years. As my first online meetup, we set it up as a normal Teams call, and it was horrible, to be honest. Yes. For all of you who have not met us, Max, the one here with the same background as mine, and me, we started the community in 2022 as we found out that we have a large skill set of people in the Dresden area here building digital products. But it's not only about being a good developer or being a good coder to develop great digital products. So there's a large difference, and most of you might know it. And so we started this meetup from the first one with 5, 6, 7 people. And from time to time, we try to improve, try to partner with other organizations. We are moving from interesting companies in Dresden to other companies who are telling us about what they are doing, what they're learning about product management. And as I said, from time to time, we try to gain and get inspiration from outside, other communities outside or other companies. And so I would I'm really happy that we can fulfill our vision a bit more to gather the best product people, not only from Dresden, but from Europe maybe here in this call tonight. First of all, let's do a little check-in before we start with the networking. I think you all can type in the chat here, and I will start a little Q&A. A Q&A post, and I already prepared it. So let's make a second. Oh, this posting does not work like it's supposed to be. And I try to. Okay, it's not working. Anyway, just raise your hand if you've been to the meetup earlier. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. So I think it's like almost 50-50 here tonight. And yeah, hopefully every one of you who joined again will take some valuable insights, and everyone else, please come back next time. Now I would like to find out who is here regarding your role. So just raise your hand if you're like a product manager in your company or a product owner likewise. Yeah, really great to see so many people from the product management space here. And if you're not a product manager, just type into the chat who you are and what's your position is a developer, founder, yes, maybe a seller or someone for marketing. Just type it into the chat. I would really love to see who joined us here tonight. And I think the final question is, would you define yourself or the company you work for as a really product company, or is it more like service provider or enabler? So just raise your hand if you really believe, and you're from the inside view, believe that you're working for a product company that is really selling products and not only services or Oh, that's really interesting. So I think we had like 15 product managers, but only 8 people believe that they are working for a product company. That's really interesting because I recently talked to a product manager from a company here in our area, and they have a lot of product managers, but they still work like an agency. So really interesting.
So next, like guerrilla product management. Like people just defining their own product within the project organization.
Maybe. So before we start with the presentation and the input of Matvey, we'll have our getting together, getting to know each other, and I think Max can just introduce the thing, and I will prepare it technically.
Perfect. So everyone with us before knows we always have this little icebreaker at the beginning. Usually I say to people, stand up and look around the room and find someone new who you can talk to, who you can network with. Today we do it a little bit different and utilize one of my favorite features in online meetings, which are breakout rooms. So at the moment, Alex is preparing probably 7 to 8 to 9, I don't know, breakout rooms. And then we just shuffle around, and every one of you should be assigned to a breakout room. And there you meet 1 or 2 other faces you maybe never met before. A great opportunity to network. And we give you 5 minutes to just introduce yourself, get to know the others. Make it short, talk about who are you, where you working, what's your favorite product, why did you join tonight, and hopefully you leave this 5 minutes with 2 new contacts, or at least you got to know someone a bit better. Alex, how are the rooms looking?
Yeah, it's prepared, and as we have 22 people in the call, I will set up 11 rooms, and if there's another room needed, I will just adjust it. So see you in 5 minutes, and
Alex is getting also you back to the main room afterwards. So
yes.
Everyone smile.
So I think this is great. Thank you.
A very authentic screenshot with a camera.
See you next time. Okay.
All right, guys, do you see my screen? All good?
Yep.
Perfect. So, guys, thanks everyone for joining. I already made an introduction to Robert, so we've been in a breakout room with him. I'll make it very quick just to tell you who I am, what we are doing. I don't want to focus on the product map today. I personally enjoyed preparing information and some tips for you because I'm also a product manager. I've been working as a product 7 years years. I started as a software engineer. I've got computer vision, bachelor degree, and I spent a lot of time working on AI even before AI started. My experience purely from like my actual start of career was around UX and product design. So I became a lead product designer in the fintech company. I moved to the company Arrival. Maybe you heard about them. It's electric vehicle manufacturer in the UK. I was responsible for the group of products for autonomous robotic manufacturing. We did 3 facilities here in the United Kingdom, mobile robotic, automation processes, HMIs. It's everything what is around manufacturing became my passion, so I do a lot of research on that topic still, just because I love it. I've been a co-founder of the product management school, so we had 3 years, 30 people per cohort, so it was a very small school, but we learned how to teach product management, and it was always changing every year. So we invited many speakers and they shared their experience, and it was a big long journey. I had my small startup. It's called Graphica. It's failed as many other startups, and it's not my only one, but we still got a big community of designers. It's more than 50k followers on Instagram, and I'm a co-founder and CEO from the product map. I'll show you what we're doing and actually how you can use our knowledge. We've got Margarita, she's our growth product manager with us today. So we also very excited to share the information because we're also product managers. I split my talk. It's not only talk, we'll have workshops. I want to keep things practical. I prepared a few tips and tools for you. I'll start with a structure, how we can think about product management and skills. That's basically a fundamental layer that helps to think later how you can grow, how you can reach the higher expertise. And after that, some just practical tips and tools, how we actually see the change and what actually will help you to move in this very fast and growing and changing environment. So long story short, the expectations from product managers, they are different all over the world. We engaged with people starting from US till the Japan, so worldwide, and that's people explain the product management differently. Now a lot of things that product managers been doing, they could be automated. We also see that people don't commit a lot to long-term courses. So imagine that previously you took 6 months course, or 4-5 years in the university, and after that it's a long-term commitment. After that, you receive something like a skill or a specific expertise. But now people can ask ChatGPT whatever they want, and they think that they don't need to read books, that they don't need any courses. They solve tasks and think that now they know everything. So they receive quick responses and don't want to see the clear structure, how you can grow in different directions. But you need some navigation that will help you to move in your career. And if you ask ChatGPT, help me to progress as a product manager, and explain the context where you are, it will give you very basic stuff, maybe not so accurate as we think the product manager should be. So that's why I think we need to understand the product management first. So what it is, what we do as product managers, and map it out in order to understand how we can grow. And I want to ask you first. So how do you understand the product managers? What they need to do? It could be just different directions. So I know product managers work on product and they define the strategy. Something like that. Sounds reasonable. Now it's your call, guys. Maybe Max, Alexander, you want to be first? Yeah, Alexander, please.
I'm one of the few people here who is not a product manager, but a finance and operations guy. I would define the product management as, or the product manager as someone who's always curious to find out about the core of users and customers' problems and describe it on a broader level to bring all these pains from these problems into scalable solutions for product or digital product, translated in a way for other stakeholders as well.
100%. So it's kind of a bridge between two different worlds. All right, agree. Falk, right? If it's the right spelling. So, sorry.
Very well spelled, thanks.
Tried my best.
Okay, I made some notes here. For me, first of all, what came into my mind quickly was the term ownership.
Wow.
So you own something end to end, hopefully. You have a deep understanding of customer centricity, so what the customer needs, not what the customer wants, And and I think you need to think in outcomes. So forget this output stuff, thinking from the typical project mindset. So this is what came into my mind quickly.
100% agree with every word that you said. So I've got something to add. That's why I'm here. So I've got the next slide where I'll show my vision. But yeah, I agree with you guys. Anyone else? Feel free to add something. So ownership, outcomes, and what was the third one? Sorry, I'm also doing notes. So
what I said, customer centricity.
Yes, yeah.
Gotcha.
Anything else? Anyone? Max, maybe you?
Yeah, I'm also thinking about the question of like this forward thinking, this trying to assess where will the market evolve, where will customer needs evolve to what some people call this product sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think this also is part of the role.
Agree. Okay, so anybody else? It's interesting that it's product management, so they are managers, so they should manage something. Everyone. So we just started with the product side of things, right? So, but there are many other things that sometimes product managers do. I'm just curious. Does anyone want to add something? There are different types of products.
I would add one thing. I don't want to talk too much here, but for me, product is the perfect vehicle for organizational change. So basically, you are definitely in charge to design your organization.
Yeah.
And this includes the product team, but a lot of stuff around this, what you need to build up this product.
Exactly. That's the whole point. So organization, it's what? It's some processes and people, structure. So bringing this structure, it's also a very important skill, right? So I agree. All right. So I'll share how we mapped the general product management skills. We split everything by 5 categories. So product, customer, analytics, processes, and people. So, and after that, so I mean, it's just it's not maybe not the best one. There are many ways how you can find where you can find product skills structure. So the one of them, it's from Ravi Mehta. He created it so many years ago. It's still relevant, but it's something that we adjusted based on the industry. So mostly focused on tech industry, but still everything what you see here should be relevant. So again, 5 high-level groups. What's inside? So strategic impact, maybe it's something like forward thinking, right? So about the market and the strategy. Business goals, ownership as a word, 100% agree. Next is product discovery, which is very important if you work in a new area, in a niche market. So how you can do it without the discovery process? It's also a skill. User experience, voice of customer, and product marketing. We put these three in the customer area just because there are different types of products. So, and sometimes you focus more on the market side of things. Sometimes you focus more on the user experience side. So again, still relevant. I think that these three also like covers the customer part. Analytics, so fluency with data, measuring progress and KPIs. It's all about outcomes, but working with data, understanding your stakeholders. It's two sides, two areas that you need to balance. So it's all about working with people and understanding them, but at the same time working with data, getting insights from the data. Processes, we see here three main areas. So product vision and planning, backlog management, and software engineering. We put software engineering as a separate skill, just or because of the growing demand. So technical product managers, they are becoming AI product managers. They do a lot of technical stuff. They work a lot with code. Now product managers know what Git means, how to use Git, how to deploy things, just because they are capable to build prototypes quicker. And the next question is what to do with this prototype, how to understand the result of the work from the LLM. And the final area is people. So we always work with people, as if you're growing, your team is growing, you need to organize your team, you need to set up the right processes, how they communicate with each other. You always focus on your team from the people development point of view. Performance management could be also a very important task for you if you are a senior leader. But from the same, from the other angle, if the team is small, you're still a leader. So as a product lead, you're leading people, and that's why team leadership is also important. Even if you're just starting your career, you're becoming the product lead in order to also lead people. So guys, what do you think? What do you think about that? We did an explanation for all of them. I'll leave it just as an additional resource for you. I don't want to dive into each of all of them. I listed just in order them here just to read them more easily, let's say like that. What do you think could be added here? So what is missing? So we spoke about ownership, outcomes, fast forward thinking, product sense, organizational. Anything else that you want to add from your side? Maybe more relevant for your company. What do you think, guys? Robert, maybe you? We spoke with you. I need your feedback.
I think it's very comprehensive. Nothing comes to my mind right now.
Anything that you want to add from your view?
No, nothing that comes to my mind.
Someone in the chat wrote money.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I haven't seen the chat. I'll open that, so just give me a sec.
I think money always plays a crucial role.
That's a good point. So actually there are many ways how you can think about business goals and outcomes. So your KPIs could be money, but I worked with different types of projects, some of them being completely free, and they always been looking for the bigger missions. So the money, it could be your main, so let's say your LTV is growing, your ARPU is growing, so everything is growing. That's great, but there are many good projects, they are based on volunteering, and everything could be also like, it's also a product, right? So I agree that money matters, but still it depends on your product. So what should be your main outcome? All right, so we did a template that people, they've been using for self-assessment. So how it usually works, you self-assess where you are, so where is your current state. So let's will be slides be shared? Yes, I'll share everything and all slides afterwards. And I'm also recording just to be sure that we're not missing that. I want someone to be a volunteer, and we will do a self-assessment. So from the scale from 1 to 3, we will write your chart in order to understand where you are. Anybody wants to assess yourself and set the bar where you are right now as a current state? So we did it with our teams just to be sure. So where you are, we draw the line in order to show the where you are. Anybody wants to be a volunteer? So we'll do that.
I mean, if no one volunteers, as a guinea pig.
Let's go. Max, so rate your strategic impact from 1 to 5. Where you are? In the middle, higher, lower?
Strategic impact higher.
Higher. So 3, 4, 5?
Let's say 4.
4. Okay. Here you are. What's next? Business goals ownership. Where you are?
Probably 3.
All right. So you are here. I was expecting that. Now, how usually you do product discovery? So how many products you discovered?
I think I have a good process for product discovery established. I know all the things you need to do, all the things you need to do to carry it out, to conduct interviews, to analyze the data afterwards. Mm-hmm. So I would say in that terms 5, but I don't do it as often as I would like.
So then 5 or 4?
Well, let's go for 5.
5. All right. So master of product discovery. So what's next? User experience. So where you are?
Probably at 3. I would say.
Do you design interfaces? Do you create user flows?
Yeah, sometimes.
Then 3 for sure. Okay. How usually you do interviews with your customers and analyze feedback from them?
Like video meetings, using customer visits, going on expos, trade shows, and I always like to record things and then bring it up every time in the meeting. So voice of customer, I'd say 4. Maybe it's not that structured yet. I could document it better.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's where we are. Next, product marketing. So how good are you at marketing?
I'd say maybe a 4.
4. So what marketing channels do you use?
Lots.
Okay, then 4. Analytics, fluency with data. So do you know SQL? Do you know how to get data from database, build a BI, simple BI?
I used to, but nowadays I just rely on ChatGPT to output.
That also works. It helps you to get the fluency with data, but that works.
2 or 3. Without ChatGPT, I would be lost.
Okay, so I put 3 just because you're almost everywhere on 3, so 2 will be not so good. Okay, so KPIs, measuring progress, working with metrics, defining dashboards, analyzing these dashboards. So
I would like to do it more often, but I always struggle to define the best metrics for our product. Mm-hmm. Because it's our product, might be because of limited skills. So let's stick with 3 here also.
Okay. And working with stakeholders, so identifying them, getting requirements from them, or insights. Maybe you've got just one stakeholder, the CEO. It's also a stakeholder, but how usually you work with stakeholders?
Internal stakeholders quite good. External stakeholders, I try to get better, to really keep an eye on what stakeholders do we need to have also on our radar externally. So maybe a 3 or maybe a 2. I just do it out on a gut feeling, not really structured.
All right. Okay, gotcha. And 6 more. We need to push forward. So,
All right, a bit faster. I hate
backlog.
I hate backlog management. I hate backlogs.
Everybody hates them. So,
Let's do a 1. I don't like going through backlogs.
so you actually have a clear focus on marketing and not the technical side of things. Okay. Planning, product vision. So defining.
Yeah, let's do a 4.
4, yeah, good. So you're basically setting the strategy, but the execution part not so interesting. Gotcha. And software engineering. So do you know how to code? Do you know how to work with Git? So where you are?
I just deployed a personal project today.
Ooh, then 5 for sure.
Let's do 4. Probably without ChatGPT, I would be lost.
Okay. All right, finally, people, communication, team leadership, and people development.
Communication, I would say quite good.
Yeah.
And for the other 2, I don't have any reference. I've always been a team of 1, so I never led like a larger team. I was always more like a solitary product manager next to the engineering team. Mm-hmm. And so leadership and development, there are by luck some competencies, but nothing really proven.
So what will be your rate? So here.
Let's say 4-1-1.
4-1-1. Okay, now we did it. So that's your radar. I want to ask you a question. So where do you want to grow? Let's define your grow areas. So now you see the blank spots. I don't know, you hate the backlog management, but maybe you don't want to work on that. So where you want to push? So what's your target state?
I think for now, the analytics part, I would like to.
So here you do the push, right?
Become less dependent on ChatGPT.
Nice. And software engineering as well, right? So you deployed, now you're becoming CI/CD engine, DevOps engineer. So yeah, okay, pushing. Guys, why I'm showing it to you? Because we've been using it as a reference in order to define growth points. At Product Map, we built an assessment. I'll show you live right now. I don't want to show any boring videos or something. The assessment basically does everything what we did right now with Max, but it's fast. It's much faster. I'll share some example with you. So yeah, let me share my screen very quickly. So that's how the assessment looks like. It just asks your background, so who you are. I'm a product manager. I think I'm kind of a senior product manager, and when I'm selecting that, the assessment will measure you against the selected grade. So I'm selecting the experience level senior, and I'll get the assessment based for it. So that's for the personalization part of the product map where you can grow. I'll select a few topics, but that's not part of the demonstration. So now there are ways how you can assess yourself. So the self-assessment part is simple. You do the self-assessment. You can also do what we did right now with Max. I'll show you cool stuff. I'll show you the AI-based assessment. I'll put my LinkedIn profile that I just exported just to demonstrate, but you're always welcome to share your certificates or any proofs of material, like of your expertise, your CV, maybe covered letters, whatever. So the product map analyzes it and identifies topics that you know in order to map skills that you got. So the whole idea of the product map is to have a topic structure, and it identifies some areas where you need to push more. So that's my assessment. I'm not the best one. I just shared my LinkedIn profile. I've been working a lot on the business side of things, so that's why I believe I also got 5 in this area. I need to work more on the strategy part. I definitely need to improve my analytical skills and working with data. But that's a regular view of the senior people. So they always focus on the different areas, but you can see where the push should be. So comparing yourself against the senior shows you where you need to push. So you see also the clear side. We did more than 1,000 of assessments. That's why we already know some ranking. We know who are people coming with different backgrounds. And yeah, here you've got the detailed explanation, maybe where you need to push, what does it mean strategic impact free. So it basically helps to define strategic initiatives and in order to achieve business goals. But yeah, that's my profile as a product manager. So at the end, when I complete the assessment, I receive a personalized plan that helps me to close my gaps, so and suggest some different materials. I'm not showing you the product map. I think this structure helps you to understand where you need to grow. You can do it by yourself, you can do it self-assessment, but the overall idea, measuring where you are, understanding what areas you need to improve, it's a must-have for all product managers. If you want to grow as a professional, you always need to think where you need to push. And yeah, we know that every company has its own PM skills. They always define very specific requirements, and sometimes it's also a cultural thing. Sometimes it's also coming from industry. So let's take as an example, fintech startup. You will work more with data. You will work more with metrics. But if you're working on the customer-facing product that sells some specific items or services, then you will spend more on time working on the user experience and product marketing, because you need to market your product, sell more, and check your average order value, check the frequency of purchases, and so on. And you'll do the end-to-end analytics starting from marketing campaigns till the activation and the revenue. So we did custom assessments for companies. The whole idea was that you define your radar and you can do it for yourself. So that's basically the whole point of 15 product management skills that I showed to you. There is a very specific view of the startup PM. I want you to use the same tool. Raise your hand if you're working in a startup. It doesn't matter product manager you are or not. So do you call your product or company startup or bigger company? So raise your hands if you work in a startup. Mirko, if I pronounce your name correctly. Alexander, Max, Moritz. 4 hands. Anybody else? 4 hands. Okay. So why I'm calling it startup PMs? Because now a lot of companies less than 100 people, they are moving very fast. So what does it mean for the whole world? That sometimes teams will be smaller. Sometimes these smaller teams will be much faster. And the requirement for PM is very different. So sometimes PM in the startup is just the guy who is doing everything. There is a change. I put here 6 nodes that I mentioned, and when we engage with different companies, we also see this change. So versatility versus specialization, it means that startup PMs, they do everything. Starting from the product discovery, they are managing the team, they are setting processes, they are building dashboards, they are defining go-to-market strategy, everything. And sometimes they even, do the marketing campaign and they prepare creatives or assets. And in enterprises, always responsibilities split. So, it's if company is bigger, you need to set up proper processes where people do very specific tasks, and there is no such thing as a PM running around with a fire somewhere, like fire guys, we need to solve everything. No, it's not working like that. So, and it also leads to the speed and ownership. So in startups, the ownership is bigger. So everything which is around your product or sub-product, if it's an ecosystem, it's your responsibility. In enterprises, some things are more layered. That's fine. I've been working in a company of 3,000 people, and I joined this company when it was 200 people. So I've seen different stages of the company. And there are many other companies. They are changing their processes, changing the structure, but at the same time, they still need some different ways how to improve things and move forward with decision making. Decision making number 6. So startups make calls immediately, so they don't waste a lot of time on making these decisions because it doesn't help them to grow. Sometimes with the companies it takes some time to align stakeholders, and the stakeholder management is getting more important. Creative with fewer resources. I think that's what Max doing, right? So trying to use GPT for different cases like analyzing data, deploying the applications, and that's fine because it reduces costs, right? So you don't need someone who will help you with something. You don't need consultants and expertise. You just trying to get something in the most creative way in order to reduce costs. Obviously it helps a lot. In the bigger companies, there are some playbooks, there are some suggestions how to do things, documentation, it still exists, but startups trying to find different solutions quick and faster. Metrics focus. Obviously, startups track very important metrics. In enterprises, the portfolio is much bigger and metrics are much more detailedly specified. So I've seen 3 of metrics, which basically a huge board explaining how everything is linked and tightly coupled with each other. And risk tolerance, the last one here in the middle. So startups make bets, and sometimes they're very risky just because they need to find ways how to survive on the market. Or enterprises sometimes moving, let's say, slower, but I would say more predictable, right? In a more predictable way. So we mapped different views, we analyzed different people, different grades in order to understand what it is right now, the startup PM wearing many hats. Here something that we mapped as an infographics where usually should be a focus. So I believe there is a change on the technical side of things. So in the startups, there is no such thing as a project manager, scrum master, or technical product manager also takes responsibility of the product marketing manager. And that's why they also work in the startups, product managers work closely with engineering team. So that's why the backlog management is growing. Max, I know that you don't like that, but that's actually what could be automated as well. I'll show you now how to do some tips and tricks, but that's very important part where you manage the backlog not only for engineering, but it could be also a design backlog or marketing backlog, so it depends. So another point what is changing dramatically, so growth mindset. I know that growth product management, it's not a new thing, but now the cycles of delivery is getting smaller and smaller. So previously we've been talking about design sprint from Google, which takes 5 days to deliver a prototype and test it with users. But now it's not only a prototype and testing, it's a full growth marketing campaign, which starts with an idea, finishes with a marketing campaign and analytics of metrics that you received. So now the cycle is 1 week from the idea till the outcomes you received. And what's also changing a lot in the area of AI, so people can build prototypes using just prompt, right? So Lovable, Replit, you can use ChatGPT to build tools and prototypes. The collaboration with design is changing. So Figma announced a new functionality to which basically extension of their MCP that helps to build interfaces from Figma, automate handoff processes. Figma AI helps you to export the code. And the design collaboration, when you've got simple prototypes, but you want to deliver quality interfaces, that's area where product managers need to push. And because sometimes you don't have a designer, so you're just working on the interface and vibe coding. But what it means that you need to push in this area as well. So I don't know, guys, what do you think about that? But I want to show you things that actually help to grow in different areas. But I want to ask your opinion first, just your feedback. Do you agree with everything what I'm showing? You disagree with something? You've got your own view, so I'm open for any feedback. So you can share it, raise your hand, mute your mic, and jump in. So let's have a quick chat before I move forward to practical stuff. Anyone? Actually, I don't see many. Okay, Alexander, you go first.
I will move forward. Maybe it's a different answer than the question suggests.
Sure.
I think the most important, and it's a kind of leadership thing as well, is to be block time for all the product managers, and not only product managers, but every employee in every role, from leadership to experiment and experience new tools and test it and try to integrate it into their daily workflows and everything. So luckily in the company I currently work for, we have some people who are really enthusiastic about AI things, and they always show best practices and do trainings internal. And I think this is you should always take the time to try something new, and it's not only with the new requirements, I think.
I agree with you. I actually got the slide about that just a bit later, but I agree with you that experimentation and openness to everything new, ability to learn, it's one of the skills that you always need to consider. So moving faster means learning faster. Yeah. I see one more hand. Fogg, please.
Yeah, it's me again. To me, the game changer was stepping into system thinking.
Yeah.
So this was a game changer for me to have a new way to deal with complexity. Yeah. So that's my, from my point of view, the best thing you can do right now.
What's your favorite book about system thinking? I've got few of them.
A good start is there are two good starting books. The one is I only know the German titles.
Please go.
The German one is Die Grenzen des Denkens, so it's the limitations of thinking.
All right.
That's an evergreen, I would say. And there's a second one. It's called Die Logik des Misslingens. So there's the logic behind why things go wrong. Yeah. The English copy is available, but I think these two books are a great starting point for this.
I've got somewhere a book on English, but it's terrible. I mean, my favorite book about system thinking is NASA Engineering Handbook. Google it. It's a great tool. I mean, it's mind-blowing. It's a rocket science. I mean, but that's something. I mean, I'm a technical guy. I've been studying software engineering. System engineering is very close to it. But system thinking is part of the engineer's job. And my favorite book is NASA Engineering Handbook. So, I mean, the only one which is good on English. I mean, obviously, maybe there are some books on German. I've got one at home, but it's not about system thinking. Bringing systems to the work is also important. Thinking analytically and bringing systems to some agents and processes is very important. I'll show you some things, but I think they are very systematic. Let's call it like that. Agree. Okay. Anybody else? Max, I see you raising hand, please.
Yeah, I wanted to follow up on what Alex said, and I think this is really, really crucial to block this time for really thinking about how you want to adapt AI to increase your speed or your competencies. Because especially as you said, in a startup where you wear many hats, you're always putting out fires, you're all constantly juggling with tasks. There's not much time to pause and think about like, how could I or speed this up with AI? How could I solve this with AI? And when you're constantly in this loop of working on task, then you're like left behind in this AI age kind of thing. And it's very important to take a step back.
Agree. Okay, so the book club is almost open. So now we're sharing books in our chat. Great. Guys, anybody else want to jump in? No? Then let's move on. My next slide is exactly what Alexander said. We need adaptability as PMs. And we always need to find new ways how you can do things better. I mean, your daily tasks, how your product can find new niches and opportunities for growth. And it's all about experimentation. That's the right word. So you always need to try things, and if it works well, you're working on the optimization part of it. I grouped different tools, but I want to show you guys. Have you seen the video from ChatGPT 5? It's about product management. It's the first time when ChatGPT started to focus product management. I personally not using GPT a lot. I'm a Claude fan. But I've got paid Perplexity from from nothing, and I've got paid Gemini for nothing. But I've been surprised to see the case that I'm showing you right now. It's from the YouTube, ChatGPT YouTube, OpenAI YouTube. It's purely product management. So first of all, it identifies some gaps in the data. So you just share the spreadsheet, and it analyzes it and identifies some potential pain points. So prioritize features based on the request. So you share the data, you're getting some results, and it's just one chat. After that, you're receiving ideas about your features ranked by price. So with scoring, everything is nice and looks cool, but at the same time you've got the list of features, your backlog. So why not? So you can prioritize that. But I've been surprised. I mean, this video was 1 month ago, right? But I've been surprised to see it on OpenAI YouTube. So just because they never been focusing product management, but now they're showing how easy it is. So now the next step is to write user story, and the next step is to code for me this user story and build me a prototype. So what's the time of completion? I mean, the whole video without any cuts. I mean, obviously they maybe cut it for the marketing purposes, but it took them about 2 minutes to analyze data, build a simple clickable prototype in HTML, and it works. Is it something that you're using? I personally don't. So, I mean, there are many ways how you can do it differently. And it's just an example of the very detailed process since from identifying some problems and finishing with simple prototypes and executive report. I grouped different tools by different areas. So I don't have any good examples for the product area. I know there is a great tool, Zentric, which I used. And I know George, he's founder of this tool. He's got many videos on LinkedIn, how it could be used for setting goals, OKRs, roadmaps. That's something that is very helpful, and that's how product managers can work on the product side of things. But a lot of tools like deep research for marketing research, social listening, analyzing and monitoring reviews from about your competitors or your own reviews like from BrandWatch. It's also a AI-powered tool. Agents scraping data from different resources and providing you with highlights. We are tracking all mentions of the product map on LinkedIn and Reddit, and that gives us an opportunity to communicate and speak with our audience. But that's something that you also can easily do. It depends what channels you're using, so you need to identify some ways how you can do that. Customer. I'll show you now. Do you guys know what is synthetic users? Have you tried it? No? So what it is, synthetic user is a tool that allows you to build and simulate interviews based on your research goals. So first of all, you identify the audience. I did it for the demonstration purposes. I said product managers in various tech startups across all regions and sectors. And my research is to identify key challenges and problems in day-to-day tasks faced by product managers and tech startups globally. And after that, it builds you a synthetic persona based on different characteristics that you define. So they are different. All these people, they've got different persona. So they got different seniority, they've got different focuses, and you see how their radar is changing. So just it will give you different views from them. And now you see the report showing the interview with them. How much time I spend on this synthetic user testing? 5 minutes. How many insights I've got? Plenty of them. You've got executive summary, you've got your users defined, so you can use them as a communication tool and prioritization. So let's say that it's something that it doesn't mean that you don't need to do interviews, right? But if you want to validate your simple idea, you can run research with synthetic user testing in a minute. And yeah, there are many cool ideas that you can find here. The main takeaways, I've been surprised to see that low-cost validation like MVP is the main takeaway that we need to develop for product managers, but it looks good. I mean, you can read all interviews here per person, and yeah, it's free. You can try, and that's why I'm sharing it to you. So that's a very great tool that helps you to identify your customers. Yeah, please, Max.
I have two questions. First, more out of interest, like how good is it with very niche markets? I mean, PMs obviously write a lot. There's a lot of literature, a lot of blog posts and stuff where you can build this kind of knowledge. But let's say you have a very, very special market where there's not much information out there. If this really, really helps.
I never tried for the niche market. Maybe we can try. I would say again, it's an addition to the normal customer development process, interviewing, user experience research. Maybe I don't know. I'm just guessing. Maybe it's focused more on the open data, which usually ChatGPT has as an access. Here it's mostly for identifying different directions, experimenting with your user personas, identifying different attributes and characteristics, how they can distinguish from each other. You can do it with the ChatGPT without this tool, but still relevant insights. So maybe give some additional view on how you can segment your users. But maybe we should try for the specific use case. How good it is, don't know.
I mean, we can try after your talk.
Sure.
And I also just wonder, like, where in the process you use it. Is it like before you start your interviews to get like a feeling in which direction should I move, or is it more afterwards if you have interviewed like a couple of people and are trying to validate what you found out?
So
how do you?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mostly use it when I want to validate the idea on the ideal customer profile. So let's assume that you are pivoting or you're making a big strategic decision to work with a new audience or identify problems of this audience if you want to learn something from them. And it helps to make bigger decisions, strategic decisions, obviously not day-to-day activities, but when you're doing a big change in your strategy, or maybe when the feature is so big and the change could be different, I mean very big in terms of the new segment, then I'm trying to play around with users, synthetic users, just to get the overview before I will start reaching out to people, into having interviews with them, listening to their needs, because obviously it's more time consuming than just receiving the first draft report with some insights. So I would say it's part of the secondary research that I do before reaching out to the audience. So part of the market research, but somewhere after you've done your competitor analysis. So that's where it fits my process. Okay. Any more questions then? All right, so I'll continue with other tools. So just want to share you a few more stuff, but maybe will be helpful for you. But we've got more general suggestions later. So, all right, I'll just summarize. This slide. Interview analysis and surveys. Obviously, there are a lot of tools that are recording meetings, transcribing them, summarizing them. Use them. I mean, I always analyze recordings from Zoom because they've got full transcription. Teams has a great transcription. So if you speak the language which is understandable by all these tools, Zoom works well with German, with English. It's perfect. I mean, even for understanding and summarizing insights, it's more than enough. I personally write just one top insight after each interview, but AI also does it for me as well. I don't need to do a lot of notes right now because everything is recorded and summarized later. And market segmentation and persona creation, that's something that could be analyzed automatically. We did an analysis of all our users based off data collected. We are not collecting personal information. It's more about what people do in the interface and how they interact with different features. So after that, you can segment them and know more what are their interests. Another thing what I want to show you before I start, guys, what analytical tools do you use in your products? What is your top one analytical system? Just you somehow analyze the data, right? So what is your tool?
So we just use standard logging and then have a script to build databases.
Mm-hmm. Do you record user clicks like Google Analytics does or something like that?
Not inside the product, because mostly we have an API product.
Okay. And that makes sense, absolutely.
Measuring calls, looking at parameters.
Does anyone has an interface, like a web-based or mobile application? If no, then maybe you will be surprised. JetBrains Data Spell. It's actually a very good tool. Amplitude, Alexander, that's a very great tool. I want to show you one. I'm not a big fan of Microsoft, but they did a great tool. It's called Microsoft Clarity, if you've seen that. What it does, it builds the full recording of the session, how user interacted with your application. So let's assume that you are running usability testing. How it looks like, you usually set a goal if it's a moderated usability testing and you're moderating your user. But what if it's a remote and not moderated session? Then you're just following what users do. But what Clarity allows you to do, it records every click and every action in your interface as a heat map and shows how user interacts with your tool. It was a feature that was introduced long time ago. Daniel, he's our great supporter. We did update with him, so I'm showing it, and I hope that he's not against that. But what AI allows you to do? So Clarity was always analyzing clicks and how users interact with your interface, but now they also gives you insights based on the information how user used your application. So Daniel using my interface, and he interacts with different interface elements here. What we see here, it's automatically generated insight about the use of interface. So what it shows that which features he engaged with, time codes, and potentially some clicks that could be an issue with the interface. You can click here and see what was it. So I mean, he was clicking on the disable button. Maybe it's something that requires your attention to improve user interface. So long story short, all these summaries can be exported, and every session can be analyzed. Obviously, they don't store a lot of data, but for convenience of analyzing this data, I mapped and put as favorites a few of them. So what is the change? So sometimes when you did usability testing, when you analyzed how your users interact with your interface, you need to recruit them, which takes a lot of time. After that, you need to conduct all these tests. So usually it's about 1 hour per usability session. Now you've got the incoming traffic to your website every day. If you've got let's say 100 daily active users, you've got 100 reports every day, how they use your interface. Magic? Maybe yes, maybe no. But at the same time, you still can use that. And we also built with Notion simple analysis tool that helps you to cluster the feedback, analyze, build some simple reports from them. And actually that's an area where you can where you can learn more from your users. Analyzing data, building dashboards, BI dashboards creation from spreadsheet. Now these things also automated. I mean, it's not a rocket science. I mean, maybe that's not very insightful. Everybody does that. I shared this example. It's something that is a top one tool that we're using for analyzing user behavior. I don't want to spend a lot of time on processes and software engineering, so I do a lot of coding by myself. We automate everything. So what we did very well, role-specific task generation. So that's something that helps you to define tasks from the higher initiative to very specific responsive responsible person. And what was also an outcome from working closely with engineering, some processes like testing, generation of test scenarios, test cases, all these things could be automated. We did one time, but it's a not very presentable thing, to automate user flow simulation and test different directions where users can follow. Maybe like ChatGPT operator that does clicking for you. Let's assume that what we did was just a script that simulates different directions where users can go and test different navigation scenarios where they go and how they interact with the website. It's done for the testing of the interface in order to see that it works. So you create an agent that actually explores your interface in the different directions, and sometimes you found after this testing very interesting scenarios that you never thought about, but your navigation is so complex and you identify these cases. Another thing that I'm using a lot is the documentation and analyzing data from Wiki, Notion, or everything. I don't know, guys, do you use Jira or Asana or Notion, or what kind of tracking system, task tracking system do you use? Anyone? Maybe you can just text in the chat. So it could be also Jira. Yeah, click up, Alexander. Okay, Jira. Guys, do you use the chat assistant? Just raise the hand if you use I just made a screenshot from Jira. I thought that Jira will be the most common answer. I personally love Notion because it keeps things more less enterprise-less, so I would say. Do you use a chat in Jira? I can show you. It's basically in Confluence, not a Jira. Sorry for that. We've been organizing a lot knowledge bases. We've been stabilizing prompt libraries. I'll show you how we do that. I can show you a quick demo of the requirements, of the Confluence. It's actually not Jira, but yeah, Product Copilot, yeah, nice, very nice. Maybe I will not show you new stuff, but organizing your knowledge will help you to achieve very simple results. So again, that's just Confluence and this Confluence just connected with Jira. So let's assume your team exists somewhere in the Jira, and what you will be able to do. What was the result of the latest release? Sorry, I've got release. Summarize outputs, key outcomes. So what it allows you to do, actually the same thing with Notion. It just processes everything what you did in Jira. It processes all requirements, all information that have been stored, and it builds you the automatic report showing all links, all tickets, and their statuses automatically. So I personally big fan of release notes. If everything is done, then I've been writing some reports, showing it to stakeholders. Now everything is done by just chat. I mean, you ask based on the data which is available. So it's a sprint report with all tickets. It's your documentation. So everything what you see here is the result of the work. I'm showing not my environment. I'm showing it from one team with whom I've been working. We've got the same thing in Notion, but unfortunately, just before this meetup, we had a payment issue with Notion. So in the Notion AI is not working today, so I need to solve that. But yeah, maybe next time. Actually, all of them, they do the same thing. So if you've got the knowledge base, you can summarize results and a lot of things like release reports or requirements update, or file searching for the right information could be automated. All right, so now I want to show you some stuff, what we do in the product map. I'll try to keep it very brief just because I don't want to show you a lot, but we've got some resources and materials, and our assistants, they use these materials in order to help you to do stuff. We do well, very, very well what we already got in the system as a content. So one of them is unit economics. So there is an assistant that actually helps you to calculate that. It explains you based on information that we've got in the product map, in the knowledge hub. And after that, it drafts you a template. It helps you to calculate some stuff. So there are a few assistants that you can try as well. So one of them we did for product strategy with Phil Hornby and Roman Pichler. Roman has a great book on the product strategy, and this assistant actually, with the power of Roman's knowledge, helps you to outline the strategy. The first thing that you need to do, I think, and it will be very helpful on long term, is to start structuring your knowledge in LLM-friendly format. So what it means? It means that there are many formats that AI tools can read. It could be a table, like spreadsheet or CSV. It could be a PDF. But it will be much better if it will be lightweight format like Markdown with a simple formatting. Then your context could be bigger, so you can put much more information in LLM. I can show you different prompts and the structure of prompts that we've been using at Product Map. So we call it prompt structure canvas. A role and objective, reasoning steps, context, output format, examples, instructions, and final instructions. I'll show you why is it important. But that's a common structure of the prompt that we used for different use cases. So the prompt structure looks like that. So it's a markdown. It's very lightweight. You can put there different examples, inputs and outputs. So that's basically the example of the good prompt. If you think that it's not maybe the best way, maybe you can change this template for your own needs, you're absolutely right. So you're always changing it for the specific needs. Again, it's just a generic template that helps you to achieve quality results and put more information at tasks. So for example, this complex prompt, it's a long read. It has many examples. It has very specific output format defined. But after that, this output can be processed by the agent, and you can use another agent that use outputs from this particular assistant. And that's how you can do. We've got plenty of prompts for different scenarios. We don't use all of them every day, obviously, because you don't do goal setting and OKRs every time. But we every day. But maybe you can try them and see what works for you. If something doesn't work for you, change it. But please use ChatGPT Prompt Optimizer. Do you know what it is? Anyone? Then maybe it's great that you've been here, so you learned something new. I'll show you how it looks like. It's basically the tool that ChatGPT built in order to improve your prompts. I'll show you now just in a second, so I need to share the right screen. What it does for you, you put there the simple prompt if you've got it somewhere. And after that, it criticizes and suggests you some improvements, just because it's the way how it works. So yeah, I did it just before the meeting. So it was introduced maybe 1 month ago. But it's a result of the prompting guide that's been released. So all these things about Markdown and how to organize your prompts, they are here. But what you can do, you can always try it. Hold on, while you close it. Okay, so you take your prompt and after that you just analyze how good it is. So it takes just a few minutes, but if you've got very good prompt, then it always says that yeah, it's organized, everything is well. Maybe I need to find very bad prompt somewhere, but I already optimized all of them. What it allows you to do, it suggests you different ideas where you can add some practical stuff in order to make LLM work better. I'll try to put another prompt, so maybe just a big one. So let me find another prompt and I'll put there just to achieve different results. Give me a sec. Live demo is always terrible. I'll try to find a prompt which is very basic. Okay. Let's use this one. Okay, actually it's done. So this one is almost okay. No problems identified. You can compare how many changes. I want to have the very bad one. So let me create the new prompt. I'll put here, hold on. I put here something which is maybe not very well organized. So I'll remove the markdown and everything. Oh, hold on. It should be done here. Yeah. So I'll remove everything. I'll try to remove markdown just to avoid that. And I show you the pretty version that ChatGPT optimizer will do for you. So just drop your ideas here randomly, and after that it will structure the prompt so LLM will better understand tasks, organize it in markdown in order to process it better. And yeah, it takes just 1 minute, so give it in 1 minute and it will work. Okay, extracting exits, improving structure, scanning for contradiction and format issues, resolving conflicts, fixing. Yep. So now you've got a pretty prompt formatted for LLM and it's ready. So what it allows you to do, the optimizer, you drop your random ideas in not structured format and ask optimizer to structure it, and after that you can work on it and start improving. So it's inside the platform, so you can try it. I think you should have a premium account, but yeah, it's available for everyone, so just feel free to use that. So you see how good it is. All right, so any questions, guys? How do you feel about that? So new thing for you? Does it look helpful? All right, then let's move on. So what's next? Next, I've got a very specific suggestion to you. So I suggest, oh my god, I think I'm sharing the screen, not the window. Sorry for that. So again, okay. I suggest you start versioning your prompts. If you work with ChatGPT, start saving them in Git as a Ginger file. I'll show you what's the cool thing about Ginger. So first of all, if you start versioning it as a text, it's already something because everyone can access the latest prompt. It could be done in Notion because it has a version control. It could be done on Wiki or Confluence. It also works well. With code, it could be used for different purposes like MCP service or everything what you're using in code. If you're using something in code, so like you imagine that you're building your own assistant and you do it with some logic, then versioning in Ginger allows you to have some different conditions. So as an example, you can change your prompt based on conditions. If it's an orchestrator, then you will have this part of the prompt. If you've got resources, then put this particular result. So then your prompt becomes a dynamic structure where you can set different conditions. Jinja is available from any language. If you use Python or if you use anything, it's natively integrates there. But your prompt, first of all, version controlled, so the whole team can access that, and you've got the latest prompt everywhere. Second thing, you can put there some conditions, which is a new thing. So I suggest you start using that. I personally use Cursor just to work with prompts, and after that, if you're using Git, you always can commit that. So again, GitHub Copilot or just desktop application, and that's it. I personally use Terminal because I'm an old-fashioned guy. And a lot of tools could be automated. I believe that there are many ways how you can do that. First of all, you need to ask yourself a few questions. Where do you spend the most time in your product work? I usually prioritize automation based on daily tasks, weekly tasks, or monthly tasks. As an example, some email marketing campaigns you're not running daily, so your automation, maybe it's weekly, so that's why your automation is medium priority. But what you do daily? I personally do a lot of documentation, artifacts, something that helps to drive the product forward. And that's my top priority, to automate these tasks, because I spend more time on that. I want to ask you a question. So what do you think your most time consuming task in your product work? Maybe the backlog management that you hate, Max. So just as an example, but what's the most time consuming task that should be automated from your point of view? Anyone? Yeah.
I already wrote in the chat meetings, and it's always like, I mean, of course, meetings themselves, and sometimes they're useful, but also preparing meetings, documenting meetings, protocol, and then, of course, afterwards, wrapping it up, creating summaries, sending it out.
Next time we'll meet after Zoom introduces the character, or I think they already announced that. So the person who sits on the meeting instead of you. Yeah, it's coming. It's just for the next meetup. Just wait for it. Anything else? Customer development. Alexander, can you explain that? Just it would be great. Because it's just a long process, customer development, not just very specific task. No? I do a lot of writings. So I'll show you, interviews, okay, gotcha. So maybe then analyzing interviews with AI, marking the sentiment analysis, so it should be a great solution, because we did a Notion template with a database of customer feedback, and using Notion AI, we just processed different results from the interviews and get some insights. I want to show you a writing tool. It's an example of one of the assistants that you can build. Does anyone build their own assistants in the GPT? Just asking how you guys familiar with the interface of building assistants. Anyone? Raise your hand if you build at least one assistant in GPT. Not the chat, just, okay, at least one, okay. 2, already something. So you can build your GPTs, and they will be available in the library. You can make them public, you can make them private, it's up to you. I'll show you what it is. So it's basically the instruction that you set for your own assistant. You can use the platform and build the assistant with an API, but there's just a studio where you can do. I'll share the product map writer that we use just to fix grammar. Or I don't know, sometimes when people use LLM for writing, it looks like LLM is writing. So there was my task was to start fixing grammar issues and typos, because and the final text shouldn't look like LLM. So that's why I spent time reorganizing different prompts, what I saw somewhere, what I picked from different books, in order to build this prompt. So the heart of this prompt is stone. I mean, it's not my prompt. I always adding things that are more relevant to me, and I think that's the most important part of your assistant. It's your assistant. So my favorite part is to ban some different words, just to something that I usually use when I speak. And for the writing, I specified LLM patterns that I see as a text written by LLM. So we all know the issue with the M dashes. We all know different phrases or the symmetrical paragraphs that LLM does, even if you're not very well structured and you are speaking much less structured than the LLM writes. But that's an example of the prompt that helped me to avoid typing. I faced an issue that I've been typing a lot, and my fingers, they've been in the pain after the end of the day. I started to feel the tunnel syndrome, if you know what it is, just because I've been typing a lot. So I changed the way how I work. Now I speak with a writer, and this writer writes for me. So you know how it works. So you can say, you start speaking with your assistant. So can you please analyze everything what I'm saying and just put it in the chat. So it doesn't work when you have a demonstration in Teams, but that's actually what you can do. You can start using writer that writes not like LLM, and that was the most time-consuming task for me. Daily usage of my own writer is something that helped me to save hours. And it's just an example. I think one of the examples that I've got next is documentation part. I hate to write summaries, I hate to write follow-ups, just because it's also very time consuming. And all these writings could be automated if you spend time on prompt, optimizing your prompt, and finalizing your instructions, because that's also very important. So yeah, another assistant that I'm using, it's again just for my own needs, is release notes and acceptance criteria and requirements documentation. I'm not a big fan of PRDs, so if you use them, maybe you can put a template there. I use a lot for release notes and acceptance scenarios, something that helps me to keep an eye on what's delivered and what should be delivered. And yeah, it's almost almost 2 hours, so I'm it's my last slide. So finally I showed everything what I've got. I want to show you more, and I'll stay here, but why I'm showing to you different tools and how to use them, because now everyone can build things with a Lovable, with a Replit, so it takes 10 minutes to build a website or a mobile application. You always need to try different things, but system thinking is required to keep the structure of you as a professional. So why I started my talk with PM skills, because that's a navigation for you where you need to grow, where you want to grow, and where you see the demand in your company. Because again, everything is very specific for the company needs, and you can set your own goals based on your personal preferences and find solutions that helps you to grow and automate your processes. So if you think that backlog management is the most painful task for you, then it sounds like a task for automation. it's worth spending day on prompting in order to achieve something that will save you days in the future. So that's my way of thinking, and some tips and tricks and assistance that we do in the product map, they focused on automation of our own tasks as well. So it's like a dog fooding. And yeah, I believe that use of AI is no longer optional. So now we need to experiment. So we must try new things and optimize them if they work well. So try to set the bar higher and higher, because if you achieved something, it doesn't mean that you always leave it like that and it stays somewhere. No, try to push harder. So try to improve it next. So I saved many versions of my writing prompt. Maybe I will create a visualization with a history of this prompt. It started with a few sentences. Doesn't sound like write as I speak doesn't sound like LLM, something like that. And you've seen how I ended up with a long prompt which works just enough for me, but I always change that. So as soon as the new GPT version comes, so we'll see that. That's all from my end, guys. I did my best to assemble the best what I know and what we learned. I always open for any questions, and I'm glad that we had a conversation today during my presentation. Happy to stay here, and yeah, thank you very much for listening. But we are not finishing, right? So we again, we made a picture at the beginning. So we continue with the breakout rooms. Alex, Max, help me to understand what we're doing next.
Yeah, so first, I'm very, very curious in this very long downside sound like an LLM prompt that looked very, very fun.
Do you want me to share it? So I can send it later, so guys, no problem. So I'll assemble the Notion document with some examples and prompts. Yeah,
Nice.
it will be shared, no problem.
Great, then we can share it with the other people. Yeah, I mean, there's now room for questions, for general questions, for opinions, whatever people wanna share now.
I can make just one comment. I don't know how technical you are, or all of you guys. I'm a very technical person, so I'm coding by myself since the university. Oh, I mean, hold on, even before the university I've been coding. So my coding experience is 15 years. So I think 16. And that's why I don't want to show something which is very code related. So like how to code and build stuff. I believe that you can try different tools like Cursor or GitHub Copilot that helps you to do that. But first of all, you should always think about what should be the solution. So what you're solving. So I've got some things that I use for my own needs. And as a product manager, I always trying to be more efficient. But yeah, that's the coding is just a solution. So first of all, you define what you want to achieve. I showed some prompts just because it's a very accessible way how to show some application of the solutions. But yeah, sometimes I just spend the whole weekend coding and I love it. So that's what I do. And deploying websites, launching them, from the idea till the code, till the deployment, till the marketing campaign. That's what we do at the startup. So, but at the same time, I always encourage everyone to start coding, because we, as product managers, we maybe don't need to code a lot. We need to understand what LLM writes for us. If it codes for us, you need to understand what the result is. Is it quality result or not? So that's why software engineering is growing. So as a skill, I think. Sorry guys, just talking too much. I finished my part, so yeah. Now it's for everyone.
No one?
No one. No.
So,
Obviously. So Falk, go ahead.
yeah, thanks for all these insights. Was super interesting to me. So I'm curious what your opinion is. So from my point of view, I have the feeling that product management is a bit of a hype topic. So like agile and all that stuff we know. Yeah. So I see a lot of people with the badge with the job title on the badge of product owner, product manager, all that stuff what we all know. So I'm curious what your opinion is about that, because I have the feeling it's a lot of we always had this term of fake agile.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if we are facing a similar direction with product thinking right now. So that would be. I'm super interested in that.
I agree with you 100%. That's why I don't call myself a product manager. So I believe that I'm a product builder. I was always a product maker. My experience was user experience and design, and it's just a role, just a title, and it's overhyped. So in some companies, people don't understand what it means to be a product manager, but they set up a title, fancy job title, like the head of the product and so on. I also was a head of the product because we had such structure at the company, but I never thought about the title and whatever I've been called. I was product builder, so I was a small CEO inside the company with big responsibilities from hiring, finance, till the product development and engineering. So I never put many hype into the product management title of product manager. But I believe that some companies, they just want to use it in order to show that they are a product company. So we've got product managers. Cool.
I also don't use the term product anymore. Huh?
True. 6 or 7 years ago, I was on a meetup, and I defined a term, product engineer. I said that my team is so product oriented that our back-end engineer contributes to the product. Our front-end engineer contributes to the product. Our designer is the best product manager because he spends a lot of time testing his user interfaces with real users. I said, we all product people and we are product team. I'm a manager of this team. You can call me product manager, but we are a product team. So that was a short title, very catchy one. But if your team is very product oriented, then every title should have a product as a prefix. So it's a team leader, you're a manager. Maybe that's why you're a product manager. Guys, what are your thoughts? Do you disagree with me? So any other opinions from the room? Alexander, maybe you. Tony, I see you. Maybe you want to share your thoughts.
I think it's. I'm a bit of a fuck. Who guessed that it's kind of a hype? Because as I shared already, that some organizations try to transform into product organizations, but they do not transform the whole org, but they try to put in some people who are having the title product managers. But when it comes to sales processes and marketing processes, they fail adapting things that needed to be done. And to be honest, it's really risky if you have a good, great, profitable consulting firm or agency model. It can be really risky to deploy a product because adapting a new product is it's always a big bet, I think.
100%.
or developing a big product. So this might be a hype to attract talents who are called product managers, but in the act and are project managers or whatever you call them.
But the problem is, I think this whole movement, it's not good for the whole movement. No? So if we think the product-oriented organization is a good thing, so I'm a big fan of that. So you need people who understand and think in products. No? Mm-hmm. And if everyone is becoming now a product, whatever role, will have this role and is doing stuff as always with good Gantt charts and stuff like this, it will not help us to move forward. Yeah? So this is what I see a bit. I think there was good traction the last 2 years, but in the meantime, I see it's going down because everyone says now we do this already, and it became a fake movement from my point of view.
So what's the next hype then after product management? So AI, so it's a new hype, right? Now you.
Yeah, I think it's AI. I think it's AI because everybody says now I can be a product manager because I don't need to be a coder for building large scalable SaaS businesses and so on and so on. I saw a post on Instagram, of a 25 years old girl, and she said, "Oh, I can explain how you build a large scalable SaaS company without any coding experience and technical experience." And people, I don't believe it. It's very hard to build good software even with AI. And even if you have strong technical experience in building software. So
exactly.
I think there is maybe a lot of fake we will see in the next years.
So John Cutler, okay, go ahead.
No,
so John Cutler said a couple of months ago so that the product is dead. So he has a list of agile is dead and product is dead, and he said AI is the next big thing. So, and then it was an interesting moment for me because I decided then to go into self-employment because I thought, okay, if this comes to an end, I need to go now on the market with this product idea. Yeah? But what I realize now, so after 6-7 months, that Germany, especially Germany, has a very different opinion on product management compared to what we see from
from other companies. What's the difference?
From this idea of having this product trio, for instance, having these product teams. So what I learned just talking to a lot of companies in the last months that is product management in Germany is often located in the marketing department, and is not part of the product team. So there's a big difference. So there's a lot of stuff what we need to progress on, and I see there's a big gap right now. And as I said before, if everyone becomes now a product owner, manager, that will not help to make progress.
But that's it's a common thing. So a lot of product managers, they are outside of the product teams, and maybe it's a misunderstanding, maybe it's because of the company structure and legacy. I don't know what is the reason, but we've been always building teams and product managers close to the team. Because if they are closer, then they feel the context, they feel the passion of the team, and team is becoming more product oriented with a good product leader. So that's why maybe it's just the companies with whom you spoke, but it's a common trend. It's not only the experience what you're facing; it's everywhere. In the UK, it's the same. It's even in the US, I've been in touch with teams with the same structure. It's mostly because of the decisions, senior leader decisions that have been done. So some founders and small teams who are more product oriented, they set the right product structure and organization structure since the beginning. It's more maybe a question how the company started and where they've been in terms of the overall culture and structure. Yeah, so maybe the marketing department was before the product department, so that's why they put product managers under the marketing, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So the next hype is AI product manager, right? So we put multiplier AI plus product manager.